Hey, how's it going, guys? DeAndre Jones here. Today I'm talking about a topic that is talked about a lot within the community, whether it's parkour, free running, fitness, calisthenics, anything, or just life in general, and that is losing the motivation to do something or losing the motivation to train. And I'm here to tell you right now, the advice I might give you might be something a little bit different than what either I've said in the past or a lot of people have said in the past, but that's only because it's very situational and it's only tailored to you. Only you really know if you should take this advice to heart or not. But there comes times where, even I don't feel like training, or parkour or free running is no longer fun to me, or working out is no longer fun to me. Either it's because, I feel like I'm not seeing any progress, or it's just not entertaining to me. I'd rather focus on something else. And I'm here to tell you that, a lot of times we go through that and we think, hey, we should definitely push through it. Like, we should, take, being tired or being unmotivated and just push through it. And then you'll come out on the other end and feeling even more inspired than when you did when you first started training. And a lot of times that's true, and it depends a lot on the situation and the reasons why you're stopping. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to train. Our bodies go through seasons. Our mindsets go through seasons, just like the year. We have spring, summer, fall, winter. Spring and the summer, that's usually when stuff is really live, really happening. You really feel motivated to go out and train because the weather's always nice, the weather's always good, and you're always motivated to go out and push yourself over and over and over again. The fall is kind of like when you kind of cool off a little bit. You're still training, and you're still going out. You're still going out and do stuff. In the winter time, usually depending on where you live, it's usually cold or something like that. So you don't necessarily focus on that. You usually focus on like weightlifting or on supplementary work with your training. And a lot of ways that's the same thing with parkour, free running, anything like that, or just anything that you enjoy doing. You go through seasons of not wanting to do it, and how long that season lasts is completely dependent on you, your body. And sometimes you should just listen to your body and just stop. I've done that a couple of times where I've just completely stopped training for weeks to a month, maybe even 2 months. I'm just like, I don't really feel like training. Of course I do some type of movement, something to keep my body up, but I don't focus on pushing myself hard. I don't focus on really having to go out and train. And when I come out of it, I find parkour even more fun, or free running even more fun, or weightlifting even more exciting in my life, just because I took that break and I realized how much I loved it when it was actually gone, and I went and focused on other things, and overall it made my training even better. Okay, so you might be asking yourself, okay, great, so when is a great time to push through that lack of motivation, and when should I actually chill and take a break from it? Well, you should really think about the reasons why you're training. If you're training for a competition or an event and you're just not feeling motivated, but you want to reach your peak when you go to that event, maybe you should push through that lack of motivation so you could be at 100% at your highest peak when you get to that event or occasion or whatever, or what have you. Also, if you stop training because you don't see as much motivation or you don't see as much progression as you have before, or like you've noticed that you're not progressing at the speed that you wish you were, maybe you should push through it. And one suggestion I would have for you is to keep a journal, because a lot of times we're so busy training, we're going hard, we're trying to make gains, we're trying to progress in parkour, get this newest flip, or get this really cool calisthenics move or something like that. We don't notice that we are actually progressing just because our minds are basically clouded with constant training over and over again. And even sometimes you might even need to rest, maybe like a day or two, especially if you're training like every day trying to push yourself. You probably shouldn't be doing that. You should probably take a break for just a little bit, like a day, maybe 3 days, something like that, and then come back and then see. But also keeping a journal is very, very important. You can open your pages, see what you did days before, and be like, or months before, weeks before, and be like, oh man, I'm way better now than I was then. My mindset's completely different. That will be a reason to push through the lack of motivation. Now I want to give you reasons why you should probably take a step back and maybe take a couple weeks to a month, or just go through that rest period. Basically, if you're injured at all and you're pushing through your injury, you should definitely stop. That's probably number one, the key thing. You need to take care of your body. So if you're pushing through an injury, something hurts, and you're just warming up and just like trying to just ignore it as you're training, then it's very harmful and detrimental to your health. I'm sorry. And you should definitely take a step back and just take a month or maybe even more until that injury goes away. Something else that could be a reason to completely stop training is if it's just no longer fun to you. You might see progressions You might see yourself slowly improving or something like that, but you're just not enjoying yourself. You don't see the enjoyment of pushing yourself hard anymore or anything like that. And that's a sign that you should probably stop for a little bit. It doesn't mean that you're done forever, you know. You might stop and you might not want to come back to doing that, or you might want to try something new, you know, that's okay. But usually, you know, you take a little bit of time away from it, you start to realize how much you actually miss it, and when you come back, you notice how much more fun life is with that activity. So it's definitely something you should definitely think about when trying to decide if you need to take, you know, a long period of time off, or if you should just push through that lack of motivation. So to keep it short and sweet, when should you push through the lack of motivation? If you're preparing for a competition or a meet or some type of event, you should probably try to push through that motivation so you can remain at your peak whenever you get there. Also, if you're just not training because you don't see progression, so you don't see the point, you need to do a lot of reflecting, journal keeping, and just thinking about the past, and really find the inspiration in knowing that you have progressed over time. Because as long as you're training, there's no way you can stay, you know, on the same level. As long as you're training, you're constantly accelerating, whether if it's, you know, big progressions or not, you're still progressing. And once you can see that, you'll be able to push through that lack of motivation and feel inspired. When should you, you know, definitely take a break, maybe take a rest season. If you're pushing through injuries, you don't want to hurt yourself, you know, you don't want to make those injuries worse. It's not just going to go away, you know, through time and training, you know, it's going to go away with time and rest. So it's going to be really important that you know, take time for you, maybe focus on other things. And also, if it's no longer fun to you, if you're no longer having fun doing what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it. That's something that's important to life, you know. If you don't enjoy doing something, you know, you should definitely take a break from it. And what you'll find is after a while, you'll start to miss it and wish it was back. And when you come back, you'll realize how much more fun it was. So there you have it, guys. I wanted to keep this video short and sweet. Just something that was on my mind recently, and I figured maybe a lot of people are going through the same, you know, problem. I've definitely gone through that in the past, and I've learned, you know, just taking a step back from the activity helps out a ton. You know, having rest seasons, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't forget, if you like this video, hit the like button, comment down below, let me know what you want to see in the next video, and if I can do it, I'm definitely going to teach it to you. Also, hit that subscribe button, but until then, train hard, be safe, take a rest if you need to, and I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.